Hello everyone and welcome back to Renowned Explorers International Society. You have missed about 2 minutes of recording. I realized after I introduced the episode and talked about going to Hungary, after I had talked about going to Hungary, that for some reason my recorder was not actually recording my audio from the game. I don't know why. It seems to have been having some problems lately. I just got an overcoding error right there, and Renowned Explorers has never had any issues with the with recording, so I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to have to check that at some point and figure out. As far as I can tell, my settings have not changed, but it does not appear happy. Let's put it that way. But you didn't miss anything. All you missed is me choosing Hungary. That's it. And talking about how all 4 things that the game claims are good in Hungary, we have. We have a diplomat, we have a quick thinker, we have a tactician, and we have an archaeologist. So that should be enough to be very successful here. I am going to wait to go to this node because we have full supplies right now. Yvonne finds a pouch of gold. Alright, cool. Nothing special. Okay. And now we have a couple options. There is some status down here. Let's go grab it. A small book about a countess, the murdered young woman. Okay. We don't know anything about that. Not yet, at least. While walking through a gloomy forest, you see something sticking out of the ground. At the same time, the air fills with a foul smell. Find out where the strange odor comes from and gain research, and Agatha can do that very easily. After some digging, Agatha finds a flask containing a quaint liquid. Okay. The Alchemist's Flask. A campaign is pretty good. I wouldn't mind the study, but the campaign is much better for us, especially with the upgrades we've already gotten. And more campaign means we can buy more upgrades in the future, in the form of specialty entourages. Cool, get some supplies, we're back up to 7, very good, we will continue. Wolves. There is too many to take head on, but a clever tactical move might dispose of them. Ooh, 48% is not very good, but I guess we only have 1 level of tactician. That is a problem, but we've succeeded this time. The wolves are drawn into a bottleneck and defeated, and you remain unscratched. Okay, we have a nature challenge here, which is interesting. We don't have an athlete, we don't have a naturalist, we do have a level 1 survivalist, yes. I'll probably avoid that. Let's go to the switch challenge instead. We're much better at that. Poultice Raiders. A tactical maneuver might rout them. Well, maybe not much better, because again, tactician, only 1 level. Not going so hot. So the wife and I, we're looking for stuff to watch tonight. Usually we don't have a problem with... Oh, wait. Ooh, interesting. Yvonne talks herself up, aggravating Agatha. Okay. Hey, you know, it's alliteration. And we found another journalist. Very nice. Yeah, those journalists are actually going to come in handy. I forgot about that part of her campfire story. It makes it very good. And there's German import. Gives us 6 secrets, which is very powerful. I will hold on to 3 campaign, which is my insight with a tactician. We don't have a level 3 tactician yet, but at some point. Etiquette course is good, but Charles starts with it, so I'm just going to throw it away. No reason to teach the other 2 members of our party etiquette. They'll do fine. I'm sure they'll be fine. But I do want to do German import. That's it. We need a break. These savage lands are getting on Agatha's nerves. The nights are too cold, the weather is miserable, and the bugs keep biting her. Beer, though. She offers his crew a bottle, a little something to make those uncomfortable expeditions a little bit more bearable. Very nice. -3 study, everyone likes Agatha more, and all crew members gain -10 speech defense, but plus 25% spirit. And there we go. Okay, so 10% speech power for both of these 2. That is very, very powerful in this situation. I like that. As I was saying, we usually don't have problems finding stuff to watch. We have quite a few shows that we follow on a regular basis. One of which is we love watching Dan Floyd from Extra Credits play Dark Souls 3. I've always loved the Dark Souls game. Just adore them. Like, absolutely adore them. I love them so much. But my wife is not a gamer, and she knows that she doesn't have the... currently, at least, she doesn't have the skill to play Dark Souls, but she's become very, very interested in the lore. And so we watch Dan play and talk about the lore, and it's a lot of fun. I'm very lucky to have her. she's willing to learn about, you know, my interests and be involved in them, which is amazing. But one of the things we do like watching together is cooking shows, and I found out that there was a new season that just finished of Worst Cooks in America, and so we watched the first season or the first episode of that, and that show is A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Let's go and look at the granary. A wolf attacks. Ooh, we don't have much luck at saving ourselves here, but we will give it a shot. Maybe? Oh, very nice. We got lucky. Nice job, Yvonne. We quickly subdue the animal and continue looking around. And we'll get some supplies. That's good. We were down to 1. We needed those. I would like to come up here to grab these supplies, but there's no route, so we'll have to go this way first. Or alternatively, you can come down and then up and then over. That might be better. Worst Cooks in America is one of those shows that really makes you wonder if it's staged. Not, and I don't actually think it is, mind you. It may be, but I don't actually think it is. But it doesn't make you feel like it's staged because it feels fake necessarily, or because it's too contrived. Oh wow, I'm really surprised we succeeded at that. But more supplies, that's great. We've gotten very lucky with the rolls. But the reason it makes you feel like it might be faked is because the people are so bad at cooking that you're like, are you real? Like, could you possibly exist in the real world? I don't know. Like, I mean, like, for instance, like, there's a person today who's like, oh, I'm in tech support. It's like, that means you have to be, like, mediocrely intelligent because you use computers. And you can't cook, like, at all. And I don't mean, like, oh, you can't make a steak dinner. Understood. Totally get it, especially if you're not a big steak person. You know, maybe you're not. Totally understand. But no, it's like, I've made one dish in my life and it made someone physically ill because I didn't cook the meat. Or that, you know, last year or 2 seasons ago, I think it was, they had someone whose favorite ingredient to cook with was, get this, canned dog food. That was their favorite ingredient to cook with. Like, Anne, who is the host of the show, Anne Burrell, legitimately asked them, like, what is the best dish you make? And they were like, canned dog food surprise. It's like, are you real? Are you a real person? It's so hard to fathom sometimes. Say what, if you make me laugh within 2 seconds, I'll give you something special. Ooh, this is one of the first times we have not had a good chance at getting this, but we'll give it a try. You never know. But yeah, seeing these people cook is fascinating. Let's put it that way. It's fascinating. Charles did level up. Group insults debuff gives the target an additional minus 25 armor and minus 25 speech defense. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, we'll definitely take that. That additional debuff could be very handy. The mustachioed woodland explorers. We have a mustache. They're pretty respected in the Hungary, Russia, and the Ottoman Empire. They say they're looking for a singing cathedral. Okay. And Charles gets a 20% buff to talk to them because he has a fancy mustache. The mustachioed woodland explorers are impressed with Charles' courtesy. You are a well-mannered bunch, and to boot, some of you have splendid mustaches yourself. How could we not like you? We're getting lots of supplies on this this mission, which is great, because that's the only reason we're still going. we needed them. Yeah, let's go ahead and fight these guys. We are looking for more Devious Champion points. But yeah, if you've never tried watching Worst Cooks in America, give it a shot. Pick up the first season, the second season. They're up to season number 10 now, I believe. I believe that's when we were watching today. With season 11 starting in just a month or two. But yeah, check it out if you've never watched it. It is worth your time. It is quite the interesting show, and to us at least quite funny. But then again, we are cooks, right? We like to cook, and we rather enjoy it. And it's not something that to us is difficult, even though we do have some minor disagreements at times. Amy likes to never measure anything ever, no matter what it is, and I like to generally go with, I say I like to go with recipes. I do like to go with recipes generally. Part of that is because I bake a lot. Amy tends to do cooking. Like, when I say cooking, I mean like cooktop, right? She likes to do cooktop stuff. And generally, for that, you can get away with not measuring. And even for me, like, one of the dishes that I make that Amy really likes is, well, she likes she pretty much likes everything I make. But one dish that she's really gotten attached to is shrimp scampi. And I don't measure anything for that. You know, pasta's by eye, shrimp is by eye, all of the cayenne and seasoning and lemons and garlic, that's all by eye. I don't measure anything for that. You can get away with that on cooktop recipes, but for baking, which I do a ton of, you have to be a little bit more careful. We have had a couple incidences where she's trying to help me make a recipe and, just throws random amounts of stuff in, and it really can mess up a recipe. You have to be very, very careful in baking that you get the right amount of flour to, for instance, baking powder or baking soda, right? That's very important. The right amount of acid to counter the baking powder if you're not using, or baking soda if you're not using baking powder, right? There are some things there that you have to get right on or they will not work. Or if they may work, but they're not going to be as good as they should have been, right? But for stovetop recipes, you can pretty much wing it as long as you know approximately what you're doing, which is cool. I had a discussion with her tonight where she's going, if I was going to make soup, I'd just throw things in there until it looked good. And I'm going, yeah, but if someone asked me to, for instance, make like chicken stock, I would look up like, how much water to chicken do you typically use? Like, how much water to chicken bones to make the stock? Because you could easily end up with a very watery stock or a very, very rich stock, almost too strong, right? Although there's probably not much such a thing as too strong in a lot of cases. But you can end up with a watery stock if you got that ratio wrong. And it's a solved problem, right? People know the ratio for that. It's a known quantity. Or like making a roux. If you're making a roux, people know that you use equal amounts of flour to butter. Tablespoons, right? Tablespoons wise. That's a solved problem. So you might as well just know it and use that, as opposed to just throwing it in and being like, well, it doesn't look thick enough, let's throw it a little bit more. You might as well just know the rule. It's easy enough. It's easy enough to just know, okay, equal amounts of flour and butter. There's a roux, right? So there are instances where having a recipe is helpful, but these people on the show, they're not even to that point. They're not even to the point where you can give them a recipe and be like, follow this, and they will do so. We're talking about, this is a great skill, by the way. Agatha gains 3 speech power for 3 turns for each target that's saddened. That's excellent. We're talking about people that drink ketchup straight out of the bottle and think that that's, a culinary feat, essentially. Oh, the Singing Cathedral, there we go. We will definitely go there. We're talking about people who are given a chicken breast and they just brown it on both sides very, very quickly, take it off the heat and be like, there, it's rare chicken. Like, that's perfectly fine to eat, right? There's someone in, like, 2 episodes ago who made a dish and brought it with them to serve to the judges as, like, here's an example of something I can make. And there was chicken in it. And they were like, well, how long has this been? And they're like, oh, well, I made it, like, 3 days ago. Like, well, the chicken tastes rancid. Like, 3 days... I mean, that's a long time to be out of the fridge, but it shouldn't taste rancid. And they're like, well, no. I mean, I bought it like a couple weeks before that. It's like, okay, well, did you like freeze it or something? It's like, no, I just left it on the counter. Like, you bought chicken and then left it on the counter for 2 weeks and then cooked and served it and then brought it here for 3 days to give it to us? Like, yeah, you can do that, right? It's and I'm aware. I'm aware that there are... people have different skill sets, right? People can understand things that other people don't. Someone who's a rocket scientist knows nothing about, brain surgery. It makes sense. You can only have so many skills. I understand. Wow, we are taking a lot of deficits from failed checks here. We're not doing so. That monster did not like us. Lots of speech defense loss. That may be a problem later on, especially if we take some deficits here, which we will because we're out of supplies. Let's go inside. 92%, that's pretty good, though. Yeah, so people can have different skill sets. Totally understood. But there are some things that it seems like you would have a hard time divorcing yourself from so much so that you don't pick up any information whatsoever, right? Things like, I don't know, what's a good example? I guess there aren't any good examples. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is really easy to just go through life and never learn anything at all about cooking. Maybe that is an easy thing to do. And there are people on the show who are like, yeah, everything I eat is from fast food joints. Like, I don't have a breakfast that's not ordered from a fast food joint. And I could understand in that case, like, someone literally knowing nothing about cooking. Like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, you would know nothing because you eat out for every meal and you have for your entire life. Like, that's an interesting life decision that has led you to this point. 2 campaign for each level of diplomat is really good, especially because we already have 3 levels. That's 6 campaign right there. But is it better than 1 to 3 status stone campaign? I don't know. Let's say that's 100 campaign per... Or sorry, let's say it's 100 status per expedition. We have 4 expeditions, so it's 400 status. Is 1 to 3 status campaign ever going to equal 400 status? Are we going to get 200 campaign tokens in 4 expeditions? Probably not. It's close. It's real close. Maybe. Yeah, we might. So 1 to 3 status might be better. But we'll get more than 6 campaign per expedition, because we already have 3 levels of our diplomat. I'll just go up from here. I think this may be better. I think mathematically, that might be slightly better. I don't know. Let me know. Do you guys know people who cannot cook? And I don't mean like they're not good at cooking. I don't mean they don't like cooking. I mean like, do you know people who legitimately burn salad? Or like have cooked before and it gave someone food poisoning and they've never tried again, or they've tried multiple times and given someone food poisoning every time, because that's the level these people are at on the show. Like, they make people ill from their attempts at cooking. I don't know anyone who's that bad at cooking, but I don't doubt they exist. For one thing, I see them on the show. And again, we're making the assumption the show is not fake. I don't think it is. I really don't. As much as I'm sitting here going, can people really be that bad at cooking? I do believe that people can be that bad at cooking. It's just, it kind of still baffles me. But yeah, anyway, very, very entertaining show. Highly recommended if you like cooking and you like shows that are a little bit more lighthearted and fun. Definitely recommended. However, be prepared to grimace from time to time. I do, especially seeing them the first couple weeks handling knives. It's a little hard to watch. Or someone in the show today attempted to grate almonds on a grater. And even the chefs were looking away like he's going to cut his fingers off. Like on a cheese grater. That doesn't work. Yeah. So yeah, you do be prepared to grimace a tad, but they do get better as the show goes on. So, you know. We made those people mad, but that's okay. I was willing to do it for the Devious Champion. That was important to me. Yvonne lost some grit. We could end right now. That might not be the worst idea because we are taking debuffs for being out of supplies. So let's just go ahead and end. We did take a lot of deficits to our speech defense, which is a little worrying, considering these guys are going to be devious. Okay. Let's see. They're not in a really good AoE, are they? I can only get 2 at a time, looks like, so maybe we'll just take out these 2. It is nice, or it's interesting, seeing the people on the show give little interviews about why they're there, you know, what inspired them to apply, to admit that they are the worst cooks in America, right? And you do get some very common explanations, and by far the most common, probably like 60-80% of contestants, the reason is I have kids and they won't eat my food and I should be able to feed my kids, right? Like, and that's totally understood. Like, that is a parent thing. Like, you feel, I can understand, even as someone who doesn't have kids, I can understand someone who is a parent being like, I feel ashamed that I cannot feed my own children. Like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like, I totally understand that. That would be hard to have to admit that you are not capable of feeding, you know, people who rely on you. Your kids rely on you, right? And that would be hard. Occasionally, you'll, well, let's say pretty frequently, you will see someone say, oh, I'm here because I would like to be able to get a date. Guy or girl, it doesn't matter. You see both. You see both guys and girls come on and be like, I want to be able to get a date. I want to be able to feed my wife, my future wife or husband, and I can't. Okay, understood. One thing I really like, though, and I saw there was someone today in Season 10, and this is not really spoilers, I am being careful here, in case you do want to watch the show, or you haven't watched Season 10 yet if you like the show. One of the people was like, you know, I'm here because I want to better myself. I cannot cook, and I would like to be able to. And you know what? I respect that. Like, to me, that is like one of the best reasons you could give to be on that show. It's like, yeah, I can't cook, and I would like to be able to better myself. It's like, good for you. Like, that is a great reason to be there. I like it. Like, that is not a bad reason. Self-betterment is never a bad reason to do anything. And I really respect people who are putting themselves through that, not because their family relies on them, not because someone told them they're a terrible cook and they have to go do this or they'll, you know, never marry, right? There was one person today who was on there because she was like, yeah, my mom thinks I should learn to cook now. Like, that's the worst reason to be there, is because your mom thinks you should be, right? But no, if you're there and you're just like, I am here because I would personally like to better myself as a person, like, kudos to you. Like, you are a good person. I like you. There you go. It looks like we're not going to lose anyone here. Yeah, it was very close, but we didn't lose anyone in this fight. Very, very nice. But yeah, check it out. Worst Cooks in America. Funny show. Very good show. By the way, if you are a cooking fanatic who likes cooking shows and wants something a little bit more low-key, but really, really entertaining, try the Great British Baking Show. Very, very good as well. Also known as the Great British Bake Off, but they couldn't call it that when they transferred it to America because Pillsbury owns the rights to the term Bake Off, so they had to call it the Baking Show instead. But Great British Baking Show, good show as well. More low-key than Worst Cooks in America, but the cooks there are actually good. They're bakers, but the bakers there are actually very, very good. But they're still home bakers, and they've got a lot of personality, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Do we believe in alchemy and the powers of the occult? Yeah, sure, why not? Mostly because it's better for a campaign. That's the only reason I chose that. 8 campaign, 20 to 25 secrets from status from secrets. This would be a good time to grab this because we do have 6 secrets this time. On the other hand, 8 campaign, each campaign is almost worth 20 to 25 by itself. And we would get some extra gold in research. So maybe we'll take that instead. That puts us at 48 campaign tokens, pretty good. Very successful expedition, all in all. And let's see, 1 insight, 2 insight, 2 insight. All right, 5 more insight, and 6 from there. Plus 6 campaign from each level of Diplomat, and 4 from each level of Beguiler. So that's an additional 10. So we're going to have over 50 campaign tokens in this expedition. Very, very nice. Alright, we will take the challenge to not do 2-star expeditions, and we're going to send a report to New Orleans. This is very important. We do want those specialty books. They're going to be very good for us, especially considering we need to get amazing speech power at some point, and we will probably do that with one of the books from that shop. Alright, let's go ahead and do our research paper. We'll just finish off these last 2. That was a very easy decision. And now we have to figure out where we want to spend the rest of our research. And we probably should unlock Psychology. That's probably the right decision. Now, we do have a mix of Devious Attacks, but we do have 2 people who have Terrify. So we may give that our additional effect once we get to it. We can't afford it quite yet, but soon. Hopefully soon. Alright, we do have 1,500 status, which is a lot. That does mean that we can probably afford one of these 1,000 level ones if we wanted. I'm tempted to not, honestly. Especially entourages are very valuable for us right now because the more of them we get, the more advancements we get to our campaign token. So I'd rather have more cheaper ones than one really, really good one, just because of Charles's Captain perk. It's worth keeping in mind. I do want to start getting a quick thinker up and running. That is going to be important, and I think I'm going to give it to Charles. So yeah, let's start with that. Reflexes is the way to go here. There we go. More gold for campaign. Very, very nice. Now let's take a look at our shop real quick. There is the grappling hook in here. And the reason I didn't take Escape Artist is because the grappling hook does give you Escape Artist. And I knew that. So, so I prepared. So yeah, let's grab... oh, we can't because Charles has no empty slot. And right now he is getting extra Diplomat skill from this, which is good. We do want him to have that. So instead we could get the Incredible Rose for Yvonne, or we could get the Trowel and Broom for Agatha, but Agatha already knows Excavation. Alternatively, the Tactician Notes might be nice because she doesn't have formations, and she cannot learn it. Charm, Drama, Astonishing, Sense of Humor. So we can make her a level 6 Beguiler right now, which is very powerful. Level 6 Beguiler or level 2 Tactician? I think we'll go for the level 6 Beguiler. That's probably the wrong decision. It probably is. We don't need a level 6 Beguiler yet. We're not going to run into any checks that require a level 6 Beguiler already. The Tactician Notes is probably the right choice. It's just so tempting to not go with this right now because we're not going to use the Power Booster at all, which is half what you're paying for. I'm going to do the Incredible Rose. It is probably the incorrect decision from a pure gameplay standpoint, but it makes me feel very good. And we'll get extra campaign from it. From the Leprechaun item that we picked up, the Leprechaun Treasure. Let's go ahead and buy some more specialty entourages if we can here. Diplomat Etiquette or Customs, or Tactician Defense or Offense. We do not have Customs, but he can learn it, so we'll pass on that. In favor of Offense or Defense. Now, we can get one of those two from an item in one of our shops, and I do not remember which one we can get. Offense. There we go. So we're going to want to give her defense then, in case we want to give her that item later. And Charles has gotten more stats for campaign. Very good. Let's see. Could always pick up some more of these. One collect for Devious, one study for Devious. But they're interesting. They're not bad, that's for sure. Alternatively, Tactician Weapons Expert. Do we have that one yet? No, so that would be useful. Diplomat Languages we do have, but it's from this item. That's okay. We can deal with that. So yeah, probably Tactician is the way to go here. So let's go ahead and grab that. Tactician's Weapon Expert. That gives us a level 3 Tactician. That's going to be much, much more useful than we had for this last one. And gain extra encounter for resolving Devious is pretty good. We'll go ahead and grab that. More gold from campaign, nice. And we cannot quite afford yet, although we do need to spend some insight, we cannot quite afford one of these. Diplomat Negotiations, yeah, we could use that. He cannot learn it, so that would be good. Quick Thinker Nimble would be okay. Beguiler Astonishing we have. So yes, Diplomat Negotiations is definitely the way to go. Let's go ahead and grab just a little bit more campaign so we can afford that. 60 to 108. Okay, either one of these is fine. Doesn't matter which one. And that will give us enough. Give that to Charles. There we go. All right, more stats from campaign. Once again, nice. All right, level 4 Diplomat, level 3 Tactician and Archaeologist, and level 6 Beguiler. The only thing we are missing is our Quick Thinker. We would need a bunch more gold for that, so we'll have to wait. And another trinket slot for that. This shop is done. Our first shop was pretty done. Just that last tab has anything in it. And our secondary shop, we decide to pass on most of these for now. Okay, that's fine. And we're down to 11 stats, which is cool. However, we do need to spend 2 more insight on something. And we have to decide if we want to spend that on campaign again. We probably should. But alternatively, we could try to get enough research to get another paper. And that might be intelligent. Especially since Agatha gets the bonus to spending insight on research. That does help. Alright, and we did get barely enough. Excellent. Thank you, Agatha. And we could grab either 4 barter helpers, which I probably should have thought about earlier so we could get more supplies, but I'll try to grab them next time. Or 1 emotion that will have a stronger effect. Let's take a look. Terrified opponents gain minus 25 armor. Unfortunately, that's not really what we'd like. We're not going to be doing a lot of physical attacks. We don't really care how much armor the enemy has. On the other hand, saddened opponents gain minus 25 speech defense. That could be very, very good, because even though Agatha has a terrifying normal attack, her lecture is a saddened attack. Alternatively, we have an enraged attack and group insult, and deride, which is interesting, and an additional enraged attack here in deride as well. I like the idea of enraged because the 15% miss chance is pretty nice, but I think minus 25 speech defense is the way to go. That will let Yvonne's saddened basically act as an impressed, and it will also let Agatha's lecture act as a impressed debuff on all of the opponents, which is really, really nice. Also gives them minus 25% speech. So basically sadden is going to be the best debuff in the game. For us, minus 25 speech, minus 25 speech defense. That's amazing. So yeah, let's take saddened. There we go. Okay, and we have 5 out of 5, which is great. We've used almost all of our resources, and we will now head to the next expedition. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you didn't mind my little expose on worst cooks in America. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.